Willkommen in einem neuen video. Welcome to another exciting video, in this case episode 24 of my Star Trek The Original Series Timeline series of videos, analysis series of videos. In this video I'll cover the Human Federation member planets. While this list is not extensive, as it only includes Human Federation planets which are mentioned in the original series script, so that needs to be noted. Some of these planets may actually be colony planets, but the script implies all these are not colonies and with significant population, which indicates they must be a Federation member planet. So while there's a reasonable amount of guesswork involved, I'm fairly confident I've probably got very close to the complete accurate list of all Human Federation member planets as distinct from colony planets. Let's start with our favourite planet, Earth. Not that much to say about Earth, as we all know about it. The Enterprise does visit Earth, but generally only in the past. The Enterprise does not visit Earth in their own timeline in the first 3 seasons of the original series, and even the 2 seasons of the animated series. A little bit of guesswork involved here, but I'm estimating population of Earth in 2266 is 20 billion, assuming a low population growth and with more than 1.27 million young and fertile citizens leaving each year for the colonies and starbases. I have no idea if this is correct based on the script, so the information is never provided. We never really ever visit current Earth or the original series year Earth during the original series seasons. But it's a good guess, or at least a working hypothesis. In the episode Return Tomorrow, Mars is mentioned. It's mentioned one more time, but in that case it's the brand name of toothpaste. Mars is the number 2 planet for the Human Federation by a significant margin, although eventually Alpha Centauri will outshine it as it's a more hospitable planet and population growth will be more rapid. To the best of my knowledge, Mars was Earth's first colony, probably with a population of about 1.3 billion in 2266. Bases were established by both the US and USSR before 1997, possibly sometime in the 1980s. The development of the DY-100 allowed for its colonization, and soon a fleet of these spacecraft were moving large numbers of colonists to Mars. It's probably had a population of 200,000 in 2018. And most achieved independence around 2039. In 2050, it became part of the United Earth Territories. Most of this is speculation, and the details or the reasons how I come to this conclusion are contained in my earlier videos. Let's go to the Alpha Centauri system. Now, I'm only dealing with the very first planet colonized, which is called Alpha Centauri. It's possible this was also called Earth Colony 1. This was colonized prior to the invention of warp drive, but probably after impulse drive, or around about the same time that impulse drive was available to shift people large distances. This could mean the colonization could have occurred after 2018, probably beginning in 2020 to 2024 in terms of large numbers. Zefram Cochrane of Alpha Centauri was born in 2030 on Alpha Centauri. His parents may well have been part of the first colonists, although not themselves a native to Alpha Centauri. This makes Zefram one of the earliest indigenous Alpha Centaurians. Alpha Centauri was Earth's first interstellar colony, probably first established in 2024. After the development of the DY-500, large-scale colonization efforts would have been made. By 2124, its population most likely reached 1 million, and in 2266, its population is probably around about 66 million. After Mars and Alpha Centauri, the next 3 colonies were founded by Mars as most likely a prestige project because it wanted to be more independent from Earth, I would guess. Let's go through them in a little bit more detail, where they may be and what their population likely is. Now let's look at something that's a little bit contentious, the Martian colonies. There must be at least 3 Martian colonies, which I'm pretty certain are colonies which were founded by Mars in other systems, basically interstellar colonies. My wild guesses for possible locations of the first Martian colony is Epsilon Uranti 10, or Epsilon Uranti, which is 10.4 light years, which would have become a Federation planet around about 2144. This was the first colony. My wild guess for Martian Colony 2 is at 61 Cygene A, which is 11.4 light years, which would become a Federation member planet around about 2146. Martian Colony 3, again, my guess is 61 Cygene b, which is also 11.4 light years, which would become a Federation member planet around about 2148. After Alpha Centauri Colony, these would be the next three largest human population Federation member planets in 2260. I have no idea, once again, if this is accurate or not, and feel free to totally ignore my speculation or suggestions, as I lack any appropriate Star Trek images to show. I'm going to be showing you this. However, based on my loose view or study of the entire scripts of the 5 seasons, the original series and the animated series, I think I'm roughly correct in terms of this. The episode Court Martial mentions a planet called Alpha 3, either with the numeric or the word after it. It had a developed body of law with the Tribunal of Alpha 3 and the Statutes of Alpha 3 mentioned, which indicates it was a highly developed and probably an independent Federation member planet in 2265. Memory Alpha claims this was the third planet in the Alpha Centauri system, and a colony named Terra 4 was founded on it. I assumed it was called Alpha 3 because it was the third planet in the system, maybe. As this system is 309 light years away, I doubt severely or extremely this is correct, at least for the original series timeline, and I think it would be a big stretch for the next generation timeline either. There is an Alpha Centauri 5 mentioned in the second season, Wolf in the Fold, and it could be an alien planet. Why would it be called Alpha Centauri 5 and not Alpha 5? So again, I think the Memory Alpha theory may or almost certainly is wrong. Personally, I feel this system should be within 100 light years of Earth in order to be a human Federation member planet, but I have no idea where. Actually, to be completely honest, I think this probably would be no more than 20 light years away from Earth. Cygene 14 is one of the more interesting planets of the Federation. It was able to repair the Enterprise, thus it was very developed, almost certainly a full member of the Federation. Where it is, no idea. As a bit of a humour, it was apparently dominated by women who added feminine touches to the Enterprise's computer. While it's never easy to confirm this was probably a human planet, that kind of pretty much makes it certain, at least in my books, because I can't imagine that alien women would do something like that to a human crewed ship, as a lark or a joke or whatever. Deneb 5 is first mentioned by Mudd in iMudd. It's unclear if this is alien or human, but Memory Alpha compromises and states the planet is occupied by both species, which seems reasonable, so let's go with it. I expect the original species were primitive, allowing the humans to co-occupy the planet, as well as colonize at least one other planet, Deneb 4, in the same system. It's also possible Deneb 4 is a new system, but unless I obtain any evidence of this, I will stay with the simplest answer. We do know there is a Deneb 2 and a Deneb 4, both of which are human Federation member planets. While I originally thought they were alien, it's likely to be other human planets. If alien, it may have been very primitive when the Federation arrived, allowing Earth to colonize it. It's possible Deneb 5 became a full member of the Federation in 2259. Prior to this, it probably was a colony. Deneb 4 appears to be a human population, full Federation member, at least in the original series timeline. As there seems to be women compatible with humans on the planets, I have to assume this is a human planet, as that is the simplest explanation. As the planet has recreational facilities for Federation crew, it must be reasonably developed, and thus is probably a full Federation member planet. There is another planet in the same system, Deneb 5, which has a mixed human-alien population, most likely. I have to assume Deneb 5 was the more habitable planet, and Deneb 4 less so. Thus, it probably has a smaller population. Deneb 4 could have become a full member planet after Deneb 5 did. It's unlikely Deneb 4 is a colony, and, in addition, the women on the planet seem compatible with Earthmen. In the hyper-sexed world of Star Trek, where different species can mate with each other, this may not mean much, but could indicate, likely, that this was a human Federation member planet. As it provided services that a colony would simply not be able to provide, it is certainly no longer a colony, and those services are very human-centric, so it's not alien. Deneb 2 was a human populated Federation member planet. This system is really very crowded, which is unusual. Although Deneb is 2,616 light years away, so it may well be actually a different star to the one that we're aware of. As a result, the Star Trek Deneb could be a binary or trinary system, and what we see here is not the real Deneb. Rajak, a alien that fed off fear, travelled to Deneb 2 to feed. As he would only go to a highly populated location, this is probably a highly developed and heavily populated planet. As such, it would be a Federation member planet. Makers 3 was likely a human-populated Federation member planet. It's most likely looked after a number of colony planets, specifically the new Paris colony, thus acted as some form of support for Point. I have no idea when this would have joined the Federation, and I'm not going to try and guess. In the episode Galileo 7, we discover that Makers 3 is a location for which some form of transfer will occur to a colony planet. Makers 3 must be part of the Earth Federation, most likely human, but even though that's not specifically stated, it's likely that it's not a colony as it supports other colony, so it's likely a human member of the Earth Federation. Argona 2 is also likely a human populated full Federation member planet. After dealing, that's the Enterprise, with MNR7 and dropping off the Federation ambassadors, the Enterprise now heads off to another planet, in this case Argona 2. It's likely the Enterprise is returning to a major planet after this expedition, as this was a high-profile diplomatic mission which required picking up Federation ambassadors from a major planet, most likely a full Federation member planet. It's possible this could have been an alien planet, but the ambassador and staff are not alien, so this does imply it's a human-populated planet, more or much more than an alien planet. Planet Q was a human-populated Federation member planet, or, at a stretch, a colony. As the Caridan Company, that's the Shakespearean troupe, went there to entertain the locals, I assume they would prefer to go to more populated planets than an agricultural colony. Dr. Lighton on Planet Q was human, and it's assumed the Caridan Company was performing for humans. Thus, it must be a human-populated planet. Regulus was a human-populated Federation member planet. It may have been a good place to set up a business, so this was economically prosperous, or a location that was economically prosperous. I'm uncertain, but it could also have been the habitat of the Rigelian bloodworm. Regulus is a planet which Pike was considering setting up a business on. It's probably not a colony, but may have been an Earth colony which is no longer classed as a colony, or an alien inhabited planet. The latter is unlikely, as living on a non-human planet may not really be practical. Imagine a human setting up a hot dog stand on Vulcan. Thus, this has got to be a human-populated planet. Rigel 4 is a mainly human-populated Federation planet. There must be aliens on the planet as well, but they are at a pre-industrial level. It's possible they may even be extinct, but I expect that's not really the case. I think here is another case of primitive aliens and Earth people coming down, claiming bits of the planet not being used and setting up a colony. Rigel 4 is a highly developed planet with a large police force. It must be heavily populated and a Federation member planet. It's hard to tell, but it really does look like this is a human planet based on Hengist here, who apparently comes from Rigel 4. Rigel 2 was probably also a human-populated Federation member planet. When it became a member is unknown, but it was famous as an entertainment planet. Rigel 2 is mentioned in the episode Shore Leave. As the girls on the planet are human, as we discover in the episode, this has got to be a human planet. The Rigel system has at least 4 planets in it. 2 we have already covered, 2 and 4. 1 is an alien planet, not part of the Federation. Number 7 is the last and is a mining planet. Number 12, which may be out in the outer reaches, I have no idea. The missing planet here is probably Rigel 3, so we'll only cover that particular planet here. Rigel 3 is, once again, most likely a human-populated full Federation member planet, as the Daystrom Institute was based there, which I assume it's a fairly large and important institute of some description. If it's a Federation member, it probably only became so recently, so probably only has a population of 1 million, but it's it's almost certainly it's a human planet. The Rigel system has at least 4 planets in it. 2 we have already covered, 2 and 4. 1 is an alien planet, not part of the Federation. Number 7 is the last and is a mining planet. Number 12, which may be out in the outer reaches, I have no idea. The missing planet here is probably Rigel 3, so we'll only cover that particular planet here. Alpha Iranti 2 was a human population Federation member planet. It became a colony in 2154 and a full member before 2264, according to the minimal bits of information that I have and speculation and guesses. Rajak, our favourite fear-feeding alien, travelled to Alpha Iranti 2 to feed, as, once again, he would only go to a highly populated location. This is probably highly developed and heavily populated. As such, it's a Federation member planet. Remember, this creature needed to be able to hide in a population. That would be extremely difficult to do in an agricultural colony, but a lot more easy to do if the cities were comparatively large. Wrigley's Pleasure Planet is a human-populated planet and most likely a full Federation member planet. We discovered this in the episode The Man Trap, as the alien creature from that episode adopts the form of one of the women from the planet, that's the Wrigley planet, and the crewmen probably took advantage of the pleasures of this planet. We can safely assume it's inhabited by humans and is probably an Earth-controlled planet. It's obviously not a colony, but may be owned by a single individual or company. I wonder if the Wrigley's Chewing Gum Company is linked to this planet in some way, shape or form. The Chewing Gum Planet. Marcos 12 has a high population, more than 1 million, as the alien took over the 4 children and killed the 4 adults in the episode And the Children Shall Lead. Perhaps the total population is about 2 million. Marcos 12 must be a human world if the human children have human relatives on it. Well, they have to be human relatives to be relatives. I'd expect this is close to Earth somewhere. In the episode The Requiem for Methuselah, we discover a mortal human went to Marcus 2 and created a great work of art on it. Thus, this must be an early inhabited human planet of some description. When the immortal went there, I would have expected that it was a Earth colony, reasonably close to Sol. Arianus is a human Federation member planet, which is vital as a transfer point on regular space commercial lanes. This indicates it's human, as the main commercial traffic is probably human, with likely some Vulcan ships scattered in there. On the other hand, the population is billions, which indicates it's alien, as no human population planet should be in the billions. I suspect the answer is making this planet lifeless would threaten the lives of billions on other planets. It's difficult to know. I still think it's a human-populated planet, but if the quote that mentions billions only includes this planet, it must be alien, but I suspect it includes a bunch of other planets, and you total them all together. As a result, I suspect this could go either way, but for this analysis, I'm going to assume that Arianus is a human planet. Izar must be a reasonably old Federation human planet, thus must be a Federation member planet. Garth was born on this planet. Garth was the commander of the Federation fleet which defeated the Klingons at Axanar in 2245, a roundabout. As most Federation Starfleet captains are human, with the exception of the Vulcan starship, he must have come from a reasonably established Earth planet close to Sol. Centauri 7 must be an old Earth-colonized planet, thus must be by now possessing sufficient population to be a full Federation member planet. A great author called Taranulus lived on this planet, so that person was the mortal human, apparently. Thus, the planet must be a human planet, which has a reasonable population and may also be reasonably close to Sol. In the animated series episodes, The Survivor, we discover, or are told, of a new planet called Serenus. As McCoy's daughter was going to school on the planet, it's likely an Earth or human planet. It suffered a famine 10 years prior in 2257. Also in the animated series, episode 1 of Our Planets is Missing, we discover the Federation planet Mantilius, which is inhabited. I am assuming it's a Federation planet, but it's unknown if it's alien or human. Its population is 82 million, so it's likely a human planet, which has only been recently colonized. Its governor is Bob Wesley, so it's almost certainly human. I can't imagine a tentacled creature being called Bob Wesley. And also, if it was an alien planet, its population should be at least 1 billion. There still may be a colony, I have to admit, but it's likely close to being a human Federation member planet regardless. And so we come to an end of episode 24, my Star Trek The Original Series Timeline analysis, in this case covering the human population Federation member planets mentioned in the original series script. The episode scripts can be found using the URL shown. Alle guten Dinge, kommen zu einem Ende.